Fly me to the moon and let me swing among the stars. Welcome to Sunday Funday on Midnight at Tavern. I stole Rob's bit. I was singing. Who's that fucking kazoo?
What's going on?
I hope your mom takes that away from you.
Yeah, that blows.
You mean that and my crayons? Damn.
Hell yeah.
I think Culture's mic is muted.
How's it going?
Hey, I'm sorry about that. How did you get your crayons taken away?
I colored outside the lines.
On the
And
wallpaper?
walls. Yes, on the wall. How's it going, everybody out there in YouTube land? Okay, enough of that. Joining us as usual is Mr. Tom Connors.
Oh, I'm here.
Yes, you are.
Cool.
And of course, I'm of course your narrator, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. And also joining us is the whitest man in show business, the script doctor.
Hello,
He's got
hello.
the cure for what ails you. And joining us from across the sea, Mr. Steve Kenobi, the master of puns.
Hi. I'm a pundit.
Should we call him Obi Pun Kenobi?
We could.
No.
He don't like that.
You may call me
9.
Sir.
And joining us is Culture Casino.
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Countdown to Kathleen Kennedy contract expiration right there. 240
That's right.
days, 9 hours, 38 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yep, Lord willing, it actually happens. They don't renew it for any reason, but I can't see how they would.
We'll see if we got a few more people who may show up yet, but if not, we may have some other people who come in. We'll see. Mackenzie Lambert sent us a super chat. Rob, you dead?
Crap, I'm muted. Damn it.
Just don't die on the stream on me. That would suck.
Mackenzie Lambert. The new Kumail that guy.
Kamal Nanjiani.
Yeah, him.
Close enough.
Comedy's being released, quote unquote, is being released via Netflix. Sorry, too expensive for my wallet to suffer through a film whose trailer was met with crickets chirping at every screening I sat in on.
That's not a good sign for a
Isn't Netflix $10 though?
a month? Yeah. Well, I mean, if you already have it and you don't watch it, I guess that's on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Crazy Eye Jedi's 149 super sticker. Thank you very much.
Big mustache.
The whole thing about, like I said, so much, even since like Tropic Thunder, so much stuff is just inappropriate. I'm like, well, that's why comedy's not funny anymore. Listen, you got to be able to laugh at some stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah. I also hold Judd Apatow responsible for the modern comedy because it's just a drama with comedic actors, 2 hours, and not a whole lot of jokes. Tropic Thunder is the exact opposite of that. I mean, it's a full-out comedy, makes fun of a lot of subjects. It holds up, which is also quite good, and it has probably the best performance you'll ever see out of Tom Cruise ever.
Probably.
Well, for us in the U.S., it is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
Crazy Eye Jedi, you got that super sticker. We also got one from Nelson Sharita. Rob, we make big trouble for Moose and Squirrel.
Of course, darling. see, if I ever meet up, we have one of our listeners is named Natasha, and if we ever meet up with her, like at a Fandom Menace meetup or whatever, and she's there, I just can't wait to see Natasha. We must get you with some squill. Hopefully, she'll get it.
My darling. Yeah, I can't do her voice.
Yes, of course, boss, darling. Oh God, I love that show.
Who doesn't?
You know, be surprised. You know, I'm going back and I'm watching Rocky and Bullwinkle, and it's just done like, wow, there's actually some pretty sophisticated humor in this.
Oh yeah, that cartoon was intended for adults.
It was kind of like South Park before South Park, and what I mean is it had a lot of irreverent, like adult hidden shit with really cheap animation.
Oh yeah. You know, they outsourced all the animation to Mexico, which is why a lot of it doesn't shows. Yeah, it definitely shows. But there's jokes about politics. There's jokes about baseball. There's jokes about there. I mean, there's a lot of jokes. There's breaking the fourth wall. There's a lot of self-referential stuff. Oh God, there is just crammed full of some really highbrow humor, and it's just wrapped in a kid's cartoon.
I think the timing for it was perfect in the midst of the Cold War. Irreverent humor, as you said. I love that cartoon. I have a pair of socks.
Yeah. Actually, it was. I think Jay Ward actually went in front of the White House right during the Cuban Missile Crisis to try to get statehood for Pennsylvania or something like that.
Pennsylvania.
Meanwhile,
I was gonna say, who was the announcer all the time on that?
It was William Conrad, wasn't it?
Okay.
Meanwhile, in a shady government office marked G2.
I always love the titles.
Yeah. When we last left our heroes. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
You know, actually, like it's the first day of school or the last day.
Yeah. They're alternate titles, yeah.
Yeah, I always love their alternate title. Hey Jesse, how you doing? Jesse Miller's in chat.
Hey Jesse, what's going on? It's like I said, it's a lot of stuff. And there's a whole storyline where Wasamata Yu is playing football
What's the matter you?
Against the Mud City Manglers, and Boris substitutes their playbook for battle plans for the Civil War, and Bullwinkle and Wasamata Yu have to dress up as the Confederacy. I'm like, yeah,
you do not get away with that now. Yeah,
no, that ain't gonna fly today. And yeah, it's actually one of the best storylines they've ever done. Oh God, yeah, cartoons of yesteryear. So, well, speaking of yesteryear, do you want to talk about Green Lantern a little bit?
Yeah, you're a big fan, so I thought we don't have like a shit ton of news or anything to talk about today.
Yeah,
so.
I gotta cut out actually in
a little bit, but you're a big Green Lantern fan, and I know you're not looking forward to the whole new HBO Max series or whatever. But we got a little information, or should I say, rumors. So go on.
Cosmic book news: Green Lantern rumors include Sinestro, villains, more. A batch of Green Lantern rumors has hit the net surrounding the upcoming HBO Max series, as well as the planned movie. Warner Media recently announced a Green Lantern live-action series. What, really? They did? Where was I?
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago.
Deadline had an article about it, I think, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, we talked about it a while ago. But this is the thing that JJ might be in on or whatever.
From Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns. That will span several decades, focusing on two stories about Green Lanterns on Earth, as well as one in space, going into the Sinestro story. Details for Green Lantern movie include that Jeff Johns and his Mad Ghost production company are producing, and that it will feature Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Because we have to have representation. Hey, what about Chip? I want squirrel representation.
Oh, I'm sure they'll probably use them.
Regarding the rumors that they were posted by an Instagram user, possibly from 4chan or other sources, so bear that in mind. See below. Through Green Lantern rumors, it's claimed that Green Lantern's HBO Max series will connect and be in the same continuity as the movie. It said the HBO Max series will be released in late 2021 or early 2022. The Green Lantern HBO Max series is said to be following two timelines as described and lean heavily into the mythology that Jeff Johns created with the comics. The past timeline is set to focus on Abin Sur and Sinestro as Green Lanterns, which will set up the events that led to the downfall of Sinestro and Abin Sur's death. The second timeline is said to take place in the present, involving Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz getting recruited into the Green Lantern Corps, where they have to learn to work together. Isn't that the one, though, that she was supposed to be the greatest Green Lantern ever? Remember
Why
the
don't they
alternate
just get
reality?
Cruz?
I don't know. No, I'm thinking of something different.
Why don't they just get
There
the
was a-
Green Giant to play the Green Lantern?
No.
Oh.
It's claimed that Hal
Green
Jordan
Giant.
not
You might be giving
appearing in-
everybody sprouts.
Oh, now that's almost Stieg worthy there. We got a Stieg here, so.
Could have,
claimed that Yeah.
could have Seth Green play him.
That was
Uh,
close. But the Sprouts, I think, he stole that, I think, before you could get to it.
It's claimed that Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will not appear in the HBO Max series, but their story is being saved for the movie. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are to be part of the Honor Guard, while Jessica and Simon will be the beat cops of Sector 2814. The rumor also dives into season 2 of the HBO Max series and offers season 2 will directly connect the Green Lantern movie by showing the past timeline featuring a younger Hal Jordan training under Sinestro, with the movie showing the present day Hal Jordan training Jon Stewart. It's also said there are talks about introducing Guy Gardner in season 2. It's also claimed that Kilowog, Tomar Ray, Katmatui, and Salak will be featured as Green Lantern Corps trainers. Fellow recruits of Jessica and Simon are said to be including Boudica, Lyra, Stell, Green Man, Vath Sarn, and Isamat Cole. The Guardians are also said to appear. Well, you can't have the Green Lantern without the Guardians. It's claimed that villains of season 1 will be the Manhunters. It's also claimed that the casting for the Green Lantern HBO Max series is underway, with Middle Eastern males ages 25 to 35 being looked at for Simon Baz, Hispanic females aged 21 to 29 for Jessica Cruz. It is said they want an A-lister to play Sinestro because Sinestro is the character that will be featured in both the TV series and the movie. It's claimed that the name floating around for Sinestro is Jude Law. My note, doubtful, as Jude Law plays a similar character in Marvel's Captain Marvel.
And according to some people in the chat, EVS designed a bunch of these characters, I guess. I knew he worked on it. I wasn't
Definitely
sure.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which ones he had all worked on, but yeah.
Oh,
So,
he's looking at a nice payday.
He may. Yeah.
So I see J.J. Abrams' name not associated with this, but he
no,
may
so maybe he not.
very well.
No, this is all Greg
Yeah.
Berlanti, which means it's going to be a lot of very convoluted and a lot of talking in hallways,
No,
especially once
feelings in
Section
space.
2 gets feelings in space.
Feelings in space.
They might go so
Feelings
cheap
on-
as to have the same type of space combat that was in Superman 4, where they're just standing on a black sheet and
Spinning
rotating
around?
around from the camera. Yeah, spinning around.
Spinning, let's try that. That's a neat trick.
Yeah,
Feelings on-
it sounds really complicated that they're splitting off to 2 timelines, one for a movie, and then this. It's just, it feels like they're trying to take the Arrow formula they did at the start and completely separate it into its own thing.
I don't. I really would like
was
a
there-
good Green Lantern movie.
Was
Yeah,
was Jeff Johns originally attached to this?
I think so. Well, I remember his name coming up a year and a half ago for this,
okay,
because he also
all right.
does the Stargirl series that just debuted last week.
I mean, as far as
Right.
like he's been, I mean, you asking as far as like because he was running the DCEU at one point, or
Yeah, because for whatever reason, I just remember the original release, the original press release for this not having him included in it. I don't know why, but I'm just reaching back into the vault, and as you get
I'm
to be
not
my
sure
age,
if he just retreated back to running stuff over. I don't know what the fuck he's been doing since he got. I don't know if you call it demoted, but what
I mean,
hell
it
has
makes
he been up
sense. I
to,
mean,
Script?
No, I think he when the whole his position changed, I think he then got the opportunity to work on his Stargirl thing because that was what he was pushing off. And I know Greg Berlanti has been trying to do a Green Lantern series since the movie bombed, and he couldn't because Warner Brothers wanted a little bit of a break from the character.
right? Well, yeah, and so did Ryan
They
Reynolds.
were shooting technically they were shooting that Green Lantern and also at the same time trying to write and shoot the sequel to it, which is a terrible idea. One thing that I constantly let people know is that you're lucky enough to make one movie. Don't think you're going to get a second one. So put everything you can, as best you can, into that first one. And if you do get a second one, you can always come up with the ideas for it. Like, I mean, Superman and Superman 2 is probably the only exception to that because the Salkins wanted to have a two-part series. They figured it would be huge. The other exception is if you're doing an adaptation of a completed work, such as Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Like those stories are done. You know where they're going to go. When it comes to a fictional character where you're doing a reinterpretation, like a Green Lantern or Superman or a Batman, you can't really dictate what this story is going to be 3 movies into the future. You have to really make sure that you're focusing on that first story first. Because they're characters in a serialized format. They can have all sorts of varying adventures. So you kind of have to play it more close to the chest and more carefully. Same thing with Star Wars. Like unless you're adapting a proper 3-book series that can encompass a trilogy, you should never expect that you're going to have a second movie after that. I mean, just look at the Han Solo didn't get a sequel and probably won't. We're not going to see another Rogue One story, I don't think. Even though Rogue One was a better film out of those 2 I mentioned. Yeah, and the fact that they didn't take that approach for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi just made The Rise of Skywalker a huge mess, trying to wrap up all the loose ends that were left for someone else to take care of. So yeah, focus on the one movie you get because you might not get another.
Yep.
And it's a new problem too. Like it hasn't been that way before. I mean, I think it was only in the early 2000s when they started trying to do that practice of making sequels at the same time as the first. Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions were like one of the first I can recall of that. And those 2 movies heavily depended on each other.
And they didn't work out very well.
They did not, no. But prior to that, it was the studio mind was like, okay, you want to talk sequels? Well, let's see how the first one does. And that's kind of how you do it, at least in my opinion.
No, I mean, I think that's exactly where that problem stems from is trying to, if you don't already have the source material and the Harry Potter series, you had the source material. You could have made all of those movies right on top of each other or simultaneously, and it wasn't going to make a huge difference other than the kids needed to age up a little. But same thing with you. You're right. I mean, Peter Jackson had the benefit with the Lord of the Rings trilogy of having a complete story in front of him, so you can shoot all 3 of those simultaneously.
Exactly. You know where it's going. You know that if you do that first third of the series right, like just correctly, you'll earn enough the willingness of the rest of the audience to come back for the rest. And Bob Shea was very smart to say, hey, let's plan it out that way. And even though they did shoot all 3 at the same time, which is a huge risk, they also did their research on the property. They knew there would be an audience for this.
Oh yeah.
That and Bob told us he had it prepaid for, despite everybody in the company freaking out, thinking they were gonna bankrupt the company. He's like, I don't know why everybody was freaking the fuck out. They called me an asshole and everything, but now I'm a fucking genius, basically. So anyway.
No, he is a genius. I mean, he started from very humble beginnings and created a lot of amazing franchises. And
well, no, he was talking about when he spent all that money on Lord of the Rings. Like everybody in the company was calling him crazy and an asshole, saying he was gonna fucking bankrupt the company.
But wasn't he getting funded through Turner?
Yeah, he had it all pre-funded.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, even if a movie would have tanked, we'd have been fine. because he pre-sold it all overseas and he did basically what like MGM's doing now and shit like that. Pre-sold all the shit overseas and everything like that, so it was all paid for. Oh, who'd we lose here?
Oh, Stig, he wasn't feeling well.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, I hope he gets that cleared up.
Oh shit. Nah, hopefully he feels better. All right, well, Jesse, I was just gonna say you could pop in when Rob jumps out, but I'll send you the link now since Stieg had to head out.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully Nick feels fine. In the meantime, how are the rest of you guys
And
doing?
hello, Rosetta.
Hey, Rosetta.
Hey, Rosetta.
How you been, Rob? How you been, script and culture?
Good.
Oh,
Staying out of trouble at least?
Of course, that's why I don't have any fun.
And we've had some beautiful weather where I am in Canada, so I've been outside.
It was 80 where
most
I
of
am
the day.
today. It's like fucking nuts. It's
Yeah,
been like below
it
60.
hit 84 today over here, and I'm not
Wow.
far from you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was-
Like it's been 70s, if not less than, for like the longest time. But
It was 71 degrees. It was exactly 71.6 degrees, exactly the same temperature inside as it was outside.
That's
like-
That's
you
also
know,
a similar close temperature to a Borg cube, if I'm not mistaken. All right.
the
Maybe
board's
that's
taking
saying
over.
something about Rob.
What does it say about me?
Resistance is futile, Rob. I need a goo 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 goo.
Oh, you did the squeezy hands there for a second, Rosetta. I want to know. Hold on.
Because I'm demented. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just like,
ECV Titan, Canadian $5. Don't ask for squirrel representation. We'll get a live action squirrel. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and happy Victoria Day weekend to my fellow Canadians up there.
Oh yeah.
Jesse Miller, Crow's Nest, $1.99. Can I join you boys? Just got in. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd send him the link.
Oh God, but yeah. What squirrel? Squirrel girl.
How much
Don't-
longer you
don't-
got here?
I got a little while. Got a little while yet. So
Squirrel Girl, one of the worst comics ever. Let's make
Oh,
it
yeah.
into something more. Ugh.
Wasn't she from
Oh,
the Tick?
no. It sounds like she should be from the Tick.
Yeah, that should have been from the
I know, right?
I could have sworn there was a character in the Tick that liked squirrels and had a squirrel motif.
There might have been. Somebody at Marvel said, "Good idea. Let's use it." I still
they're not exactly sane anymore.
I love that that video.
The flying squirrel.
No,
Rocky.
maybe Rocky. And now, hey Rocky, why'd you pull the rabbit out of the hat? Oh, Michael, that trick never works. This time,
No,
for
I
sure.
don't see any squirrel anything in here. Nope. Not that I can see.
Just and I was talking about it before. Rose said it. I wonder about Rocky Bullwinkle. I wonder. There's got to be a story about how they came up with the pairing of a moose and a squirrel.
The flying squirrel just really likes squirrels and has squirrel power to call them to her aid. Catchphrase: I like squirrels, or I love squirrels. So the flying squirrel is the character you're thinking of.
Okay. Well, a moose and a squirrel you'd find in the same forest.
Yeah.
In the Canadian outback.
True.
Yep.
Oh, in Washington, Oregon, Montana area too.
Florida,
So
Yeah.
Arizona,
The dash. It's
California.
moose and squirrel.
No moose.
Let's see.
they
Background.
used to have a lot of moose in the Black Hills area, but they basically killed most everything of them off in the early days in that area.
Idea
Because
for
they're
the
trying-
series came from Jake. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying because they were trying to, kill off all the major food sources to the natives in that area in that era. So
Yes.
moose and bison and stuff got almost completely wiped out of that part of the country.
Wow. Background. The series came from Jay Ward and Alex Anderson, previously collaborated on Crusader Rabbit, based on the original property, The Frostbite Falls Review. The original show never got beyond the proposal stage. It featured a group of forest animals running a television station. This included Rocket J Squirrel Rocky, Oski Bear, Canadian Moose Bullwinkle, Sylvester Fox, Blackstone Crow, and floral fauna. Okay. The show in this form was created by Alex Anderson. Bullwinkle's name came from the name of a car dealership in Berkeley, California, called Bullwinkle Motors. Anderson changed the spelling of the last 2 letters of the name and gave it to his moose. Ward wanted to produce the show in Los Angeles. However, Anderson lived in San Francisco Bay Area and did not want to relocate. As a result, Ward hired Bill Scott as head writer and co-producer at J. Ward Productions, and he wrote Rocky and Bullwinkle features. Ward was joined by writers Chris Hayward and Alan Burns. The latter eventually became head writer of MTM Enterprises. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore. In 1982 interview, Scott said, "I got a call from Jay asking if I'd be interested in writing another series, an adventure script with a moose and a squirrel. I said, sure. I didn't know if I could write an adventure with a moose and a squirrel, but I never turned down a job." Okay, so there was a whole host of forest animals, and they just lifted Rocky and Bullwinkle out of that. Okay, very interesting, actually.
It is.
It is, yeah.
I miss the era
Yeah.
when cartoon shows could be offensive and not whiny
that was a-
PC.
Yeah, we were talking. There's a whole storyline.
Expensive.
Yeah, we were talking. There's a whole stereotype where they play football and they have to. And Boris swaps out the playbook for battle plans from the Civil War, and they dress in Confederate uniforms, carrying the stars and bars. Like, nope, not happening today.
Yeah, I mean, when you come to the era when they had an Underdog and Rocky and Bullwinkle and some of those side skits mixed within them. Can you imagine them trying to do things like Go Go Gophers in those today, where you have the little Indian gophers running around talking like they're on acid?
They always cut to those guys. Now there's something you don't see every day,
But
Chauncey.
they always outsmarted everybody too.
Hey, Jesse,
Yeah.
how you doing?
I can't
Oh, Jesse,
complain. I was going to waste some time doing some research today, but I'll put that off because I like you guys.
What are you researching?
Welcome.
New Orleans. Tonight is going to be all about New Orleans spooky shit. I also have a fresh bottle, so today's going to be a fun day.
Oh.
Indeed.
What Sundays are for.
So, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle's grandmother sent him a recipe for fudge, and
Oh,
he tried
God,
to
I
make
love
it, but then it made experimental rocket fuel, and that's why Boris and Natasha were after him for years.
Yeah,
All over
right,
a
yeah.
fudge recipe.
I remember that.
Yep, that was the very first episode.
he misread the ingredients.
Did he misread the ingredients, or did she just
I
like
thought he
make some
did.
really nasty fudge? I don't remember.
I think it's just really nasty fudge.
I wish I had that series. I don't.
I got the box set.
Yeah, I gotta get me a copy of that. It probably will once.
I should too. Just so I can watch it and remember freaking childhood without all this whiny PC shit.
I remember one where they're getting chased by Dracula, and Rocky was like, "Well, he's magic. He could turn us into stuff." Bullwinkle, he's like, "Oh no!" So he's like, "I sure hope he doesn't turn me into a chicken. I'd hate to be a chicken." So then he turns him into a chicken. He's like, "Blah, ha, ha," And he's like, "Joke's on you. I'm a boy, so that makes me a cock. Caw. And then the sun came up.
Yep.
Or
Clever
whatever
wordplay.
roosters do.
It's
I don't think they say caw.
They were taking a jet and they ran out of jet fuel, and so Rocky says, "Look at what we have here, Bullwinkle. What's that, Rocky? It's a congressional record. What's a jet? Just hot air. Just read the congressional record into the jet engine."
Nice.
Wow. So great.
Oh, there's a similar joke that was made in Pinky and the Brain about Al Gore, but he was like a Winnie the Pooh style.
They took quite a few jabs at both parties in Pinky and the Brain, actually.
Do you remember the
Oh, yeah.
subliminal messaging episode? They actually used real subliminal messages.
You are under our control.
But like they
Render.
did it for like illegally short bursts of time. How did he disappear?
I don't know. There was a artist that worked with Dr. Demento stuff called Great Lusky that actually did a remix spoof hip hop song off that episode.
How did you do that, you wizard?
OBS.
That's a new trick. I haven't seen that yet.
OBS is magic.
Apparently.
It's nothing special.
I'm just
No,
sitting
I
here
love-
with a camera and a microphone like a rube.
No. That's all you need. You need that and maybe 2 turntables. So
And a microphone.
Tables and a microphone.
right.
There's Rocky and Bullwinkle. There was Tennessee Tuxedo. What else came out of Jay Ward?
You had George of the Jungle. You
There's,
had
okay.
Dudley Do-Right. You had
Sherman and the Professor.
Sherman and the Professor. Yeah,
Oh,
and that's
I love
one.
Sherman.
What's funny about Sherman, and I wonder if that was in that history. What that didn't say anything about that, Rob. Was remember I mentioned that the copyright on the Sherman and Peabody is actually a year before Rocky and Bullwinkle came out.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I always remember them writing
They've
a letter
already-
to Sherman and Peabody, and giving their address, but I can never find it.
I just wondered if it wasn't a show they tried getting off the ground and it just didn't happen, and then they just threw it into Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably.
Yeah, it says pretty damn probable. I mean, it's an
I still
educational
watch
show
it
that
like
Oh
Yeah,
my
if you-
God!
I just
If you
love the
look at it,
idea of
could've
the
stood
dog
on its
adopting
own.
a boy.
Yeah.
But he was a professor.
Okay, I just ran across a story though on the Midnight's Edge group. 15 men will compete to impregnate a 41-year-old woman in new reality show Labor of Love.
What the fuck?
This kid,
Wait, on which
This-
network?
Fox.
Yes.
Are they
That makes
splitting them
sense.
into 2 teams, Simpson Cucks?
So you have to wait 9 months to find out who the father is?
It's gonna be awesome.
This can't be real.
Gonna be awesome.
This cannot be.
And then
this
by the
cannot
time
be-
they're done, they're going to find out that the one that knocked her up was the key grip.
Yeah, the guy behind the scenes.
Oh wow.
He's like, well, you were all arguing like a bunch of broads.
I
was
knocked
banging
up
her.
Yeah, I was banging her.
Wow.
I said a bang, bang, a bangity bang. I said a bang, bang, bangity bang.
Scotty doesn't
Bang, bang,
know.
Bang.
I am so excited. That's
Oh my
gonna be
God.
Who's
great.
the host of this show?
Yeah,
Ralph
that-
Garman?
I don't know. As a country, we really have reality TV down to a T. There's no idea too crazy when it comes down to it. In fact, the more outlandish, the better. Which is why Labor of Love is set to be the next big thing. Think of it as the next but slightly weirder stage of The Bachelorette. The trailer is absolutely insane. In particular, Gold 15 Men will. Kristen Davis is the host of the show and says the premise is to skip the dating and go straight to the baby making because
Ooh.
that's how life works.
It's called artificial insemination.
Yeah, you don't need this crap.
That or just a bad Friday night.
Not only that, think of the child's upbringing from being born of that context.
No shit. Like,
And
hey,
someone willing
kid,
to
you
do
want to
it.
see about the time you were inseminated?
People these days are completely freaking worthless anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
15
We've
contestants
seen it.
have
Go
been,
look around.
described as a couple of people who appear engaged with her in the process and several more who vaguely want to be on TV, get free drinks, and see where the camera time takes them. The men are essentially living in a bachelor pad, taking turns to court Christy in the hope, girl's name is Christy, in the hopes of landing the ultimate prize, baby. Weird, right? And that's not all. The show also brings on the parents of the men in hopes they can sell their sons to Kirsty. It's Kirsty. Oh God. And the increasingly confused audience.
I should go on this
Appearances
show.
by the
Fuck it.
Treated as
competitors.
objects.
They'll be like, meet Jesse's parents. And then I'll start laughing and everyone else will be sad.
Appearances by the competitors tell parents explaining how good these men would be at fatherhood are more notable for the simple curiosity factor than any sort of real imparting of information. Ouch. Explaining that she decided to audition for the show because she felt like she was running out of time. Oh, yeah,
My
I just turned
biological
40 at
clock
the
is
time.
ticking like this.
Gotten out of a relationship.
I have
Like,
to
like
ask
it's
how
freaking
this is
60
not
minutes.
considered a cross to prostitution and freaking slavery at this point if they're buying and selling the right to impregnate.
It's consensual.
This
After all,
can't
they're
be
gonna be like, I have a
Official
headache.
monetary transactions. How is this not a prostitution?
Because they're
Well,
filming
I
it.
think the fact that it's a third party that's paying to film it, as opposed to, I guess, the host or the mother in question paying the men.
So prostitution isn't prostitution if you get a good pimp.
Nope, it's under the same guidelines of
prostitution is
porn,
not
right? So
Prostitution if you videotape it with a license.
yeah, it's part. If you videotape, it's
Like,
part of freedom of speech.
I know. I'm saying this is kind of weird that they're defining this as you can pay for the sex and it's fine because.
Well, the thing is, the host isn't
this
paying
and
for
not
the sex.
this.
Or
Well,
the
you've
woman
seen
isn't
the
paying
things
for
where
the
girls
sex, man.
raffle off their virginity, right?
I know. I'm
that's
amazed
forbidden.
at the
Closer to
hypocrisies
more of
in the
an
legal
illegal
system.
aspect. That's more solicitation.
I'm saying I'm
I think
amazed
so.
at the hypocrisies in the legal system that one's considered fine, one's not.
Well, it's a
Depends on
third
what
party
state
that's
you're
dishing
in.
out the cash, right? So, Rosette, if it were you paying men to impregnate you, that would be solicitation. But if it were, say, Tom or Rob or myself paying to have a show where you select what guys you want to have sex with for impregnation, and we pay all of the
No,
parties
I
equally,
get that it's defined differently
Then it's
under the
legal,
law.
yeah.
I'm saying that it's ridiculous. It's defined different under the law. It should be the
Yeah.
same thing. It should be all or none.
no,
Yeah.
that's too absolutist.
That's
Yeah.
too logical, actually. Because
I think
I'm sorry.
everyone in society will find that you can actually do whatever the hell you want because no one cares.
Morbid
Yeah.
Fury
Tom,
sent an Australian
Tom, can you bring
$5.
Tom, can you bring up the picture of her? Because someone's
Was that the Hitachi?
message that's yep.
And Larry
Toxic
sent a
Man
super sticker as
Flu.
well.
I didn't get the Toxic Man Flu one there.
I'll get to there where the super sticker was first. Was it a Doomicorn?
Yeah, it was a Doomicorn.
Okay.
Doom, 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 doom. Oh wait, I'm not Mary. Sorry, apologize.
All right, Toxic Man Flu. I'm just a guy dressed as a girl pretending to be a male moose prancing in the backyard and policing your favorite.
Read it like Rocky. Read it like Bullwinkle, though. I almost said Rocky.
Can I try?
I'm just a guy dressed as a girl pretending to be a male moose prancing in the backyard policing the very social. Yeah, you see, I can't do it as good as Rob. Rob does a very good
No.
Bullwinkle.
Hello there, today, friends. I am just a guy dressed as a girl pretending to be a male moose prancing in the backyard policing your favorite social media streams. I'm not that good. I say Bill Walton, former NBA with Hall of Famer Bill Walton sounded most like Bullwinkle. Well, UCLA has a very good chance of winning today.
Kinda.
Ooh, I like the Lakers in this one. Matt G.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people in the chat tell me that I sound like Garfield.
I don't know about Garfield.
That's what I said. Like,
Yeah, you don't
people need
sound
to be
like
drug out in the
Lorenzo.
street and shot. Music. He was also
But Tom,
Peter.
can you bring up the article? Somebody's asking how ugly is this?
What was her
is this
name?
woman here? And she, her name is Kirsty. Oh God, what's her name? Kirsty something or other.
Well, what the hell's the name of the show?
Labor of Love.
Labor of Love.
All right.
They said, it can't be real.
Oh,
No.
it's real.
Hey, look,
It's very
Netflix just did a reverse version of this sort of kind of with that Too Hot to Handle show. So
This is the way it is. If you got to compete with 12 other dudes for one broad, she ain't worth it.
15.
Yeah, but do you got to pay child
Yeah.
support? That's my question.
Not if you take care of your
I don't
child.
care how. Okay, she's not bad looking.
She looks
Oh,
kind of like
shoot.
Drew Barrymore.
She looks kind of
She's
like
alright.
some bitchy girl.
Brunette Drew Barrymore, yeah.
She looks,
She
you
looks
know,
pretty hot
let's
to
be
me.
honest, She looks
Bitchy
like
girl-
a crazy broad because that's exactly what she is. She's a crazy broad because she signed up for this shit.
Yeah.
So she's obviously nuts. Okay. So next,
So is the
Yeah,
concept that it's
$2.
physical love or artificial insemination?
That's right.
it depends
Needs-
on if one of these guys could actually win the contest and then perform on camera.
Need a Midnight's Edge video on this
Oh my
reality show. I doubt Andre would even. He doesn't even want to know it exists. I bet.
This doesn't have enough class for him.
Yeah, Andre does
She's a 7
important things.
out of 10, but what
Like this is not real.
the crazy level is about maybe a 15. Yeah. Sebastian Simonson, don't put your dick in crazy. Yeah, we all been there.
But if you do, your name is Tom, and if your name is Tom, then your name is Rob.
That's very true.
Yep.
That makes more
And
sense than
for
you
me,
know.
I'm Tom Robinson.
Because everybody always calls me Rob and everybody calls Rob Tom, and yeah.
I don't know how. You guys are not that alike.
Rob Tom.
Cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson.
Disney
Jesus loved you more
owns
than you will
Disney
know.
owns the old Fox Television, but they don't own the Fox Network, Fox Sports, or Fox News.
Fox News.
Yeah,
They
Yeah, that's
already
Sinclair
have
Media.
news networks.
And the funny
They
thing
own-
is people would think like say like The Simpsons and things like that were made by Fox Network. No, they were made by Fox Television Productions,
Hmm.
and they were just sold to the network through.
They
Sketch
own-
therapy.
they own
That's
the-
dirty, but it might be true.
They own Fox Studios, but not the Fox Broadcasting Network.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Sinclair Media bought all those properties up, and then promptly tanked a bunch of jobs.
Mad G $2. Lucasfilm just hired her for 10 episode 10.
Yeah, right.
Diego Flores, 2 Peruvian souls. How about a MEAD video about this train wreck?
Maybe if we can get Rob to watch it.
Well, you'd have to do every single one of the different guys.
I don't know
all
about
the
this.
different
Tom is the
Simpson
funny
cuts
one,
and
and Rob is the
voiceover.
perv.
You'd have to give them all different personalities, like the seven dwarfs, but more, wimpy.
Yeah, that may be, but in real life, Rob's probably the funnier one, and I'm more of the pervert. That's the weird thing. So, I mean, I've probably done a hell of a lot more than Rob has, and he's 10 years older than me. So,
I don't do anything wrong.
Oh, you're a perfect angel. Nelson Sheretta sent us $2.
Look at this guy in the pink shirt. He's like, I work out too much and I have no personality.
Only one black guy, huh? Oh no, 2 black guys. Sorry.
Is that
Get
Chuck
a 41-year-old pregnant as a pride. Xbox better.
Look,
Check
on the
out-
right, we got
check
Chuck
out-
Norris,
check
then we
out-
got Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Yes. Not muscular enough, but
And
it looks
above
like
him is
Jimmy.
Virgil.
Yeah.
That's a deep dive there.
Is this all
Oh,
ex-pro
yeah.
wrestlers?
And you got
The one that pink looks like Zack Snyder a
it
little.
looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna go for one of the meatheads,
And-
for sure.
So she's
Oh,
not
yeah.
going for that
Oh, yeah.
Indian guy in the
This-
black shirt. We all know that.
Yeah, let's
What
be
do
clear.
you mean I'm not worthy?
If she's
What do
doing
you
this
mean?
kind of a
Hello?
show, she is not deep up here. She's going completely shallow.
Oh yeah.
She's gonna go with whichever one of them
What
is
do
a
you
rocket scientist.
I'm like, oh God,
That's how
What do you
sperm
mean I'm not
donors
gonna
work.
He will go with whichever one looks the biggest with his pants off.
But what if that one has the smallest bank account? Probably going for the rocket scientist.
A little bit of breaking news. I guess if you're a fan of The Expanse, they dropped a trailer for the 4th season.
I'm not. So
Or your 5th
I have
season, you
nothing
mean,
against-
right?
Or whatever one. I don't know. It's Doomcock was talking to the guy on Twitter, and that's what it was.
I'm not a fan of the Expanse.
promo or whatever.
I'm not a fan of the Expanse. I have nothing against it. I've just never seen it.
Yeah, we've just never had a chance to watch it.
Hey Rob, what do you think of this? Yeah, damn it. Hey Rob, what do you think of the Expanse? I don't. That's all.
And dead silence.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sir, how high are you? No, officer, you're wrong. It's high. How are you?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Anyway, fill in a few
Wow.
minutes there. We got a new Batman. Did everybody see the new Batman cartoon?
It's a great one.
Yeah,
it's
you
my
would
favorite.
say that. You're a little fucking biased.
Is he wearing pink?
No, I think it's brilliant. It's one of the best Batmans.
No,
I've seen.
no, I meant Script Doctor because he helped me write.
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
basically wrote it. I mean, we came up with it. I'm like, there, good, go write it.
As long as it's not like that rainbow Batman that they have in canon.
Oh, you haven't seen my Batman skits?
Oh, of course.
All
I
right,
have.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, I gotta jump.
You gotta jump?
Have
All
fun.
right.
Yeah. All right. See you later, everybody.
Take care.
Have a
Take care,
wonderful
Robert.
evening, Robert.
Later.
Nobody calls me that anymore, except you.
I know.
And I'll let that.
I say I did it to him
I'll-
once.
Robert.
Hi, Rob.
Later, guys.
Slow-mo.
So did you see?
Hey.
So you've seen all the other ones, but have you seen the newest one?
What was the newest one?
I
Oh.
just dropped it
Yesterday?
last night. Yeah.
No, then no.
All right. Disney Plus is gonna pay me. Yeah. I ain't gonna skip it.
Hey, I bought stock in Disney.
Where the fuck is everybody? It's really goddamn boring. Alfred, what the hell is going on? Where is everybody?
They're self-isolating because of COVID, sir.
COVID? A new villain for me to squash?
No, sir. A virus.
Joker released a virus?
No, sir. This came from China.
China White?
The country, sir.
Ah, shit.
Yes, sir.
No way I'm going back to China again. That cost a fortune. I had to rent a plane, a boat, and an entire ballet. And you know I hate the ballet.
Yes, sir.
What do I say, Alfred?
You will date a ballerina,
But
you
I
won't,
won't
sit
sit
through
through
a
a
ballet.
ballet. Fucking A.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Play them out, son. It was the last thing I saw before the parents shot. It's a ballet.
Yes, sir.
Ah, fuck. Now what am I supposed to do? That's the latest one yet.
Every time, man. I just-
Can I hear something funny? Before I came home, I was at Walmart, and I walk up to the Walmart. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Because I see all these people out there in a line with masks on, waiting to go in, being a bunch of sheep. So I walk right past all of them through the front fucking door, and this guy's like, "Do your line." I was like, "I don't give a fuck." And then he looked at me and he goes, "I don't care either." Then he walks back towards the door. So all these rules are completely arbitrary and bullshit, and you don't.
They're
have
getting to a
follow
point.
them.
Well, I see that's the thing. Is funny. I see so many people wearing them, and some people that wear them off their thing. You
They
got
do
all the-
nothing.
I know. You've seen all the Karens that complain about people not having them on, and
You need a
And most of them
hazmat
are fabric.
magenta
They're not
filter
even
mask with
supposed to do
cans.
anything.
what was
You
that?
Most of them are just
10,000
fabric. anyways.
particulate.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got to be a specific thickness and all. It's I don't know.
All these masks that people are wearing out in public, they do nothing except cause respiratory problems. They cause
They
problems.
also screw up your speech.
Yeah.
You can't hear a person clearly through them. I
My
was at the
problem-
hospital for my neck
Off
the other
top
day.
of each other, like everything that's been building up inside the mask out at once.
You know who loves these masks? People who knock
Idiots,
over
man.
liquor stores.
What were you saying, Script?
Oh, like I when I had to go to the hospital last week for my shoulder and neck, they gave me the mask and they basically say this is just to prevent like spit from getting on other people because that's all it does
Pretty
because it's not an
much,
airborne virus. And he's like, as long as like you're wearing it while you're talking, you're fine, and if you're not coughing or sneezing or anything, you're good. And this is like the hospital administration saying this, and they're like, the only reason we're asking you to wear this right now is because we have people coming in and out going who are coughing so violently that the masks fall off. So we just don't want to make sure you get hurt. And as soon as you leave the hospital, they take the mask from you, they burn it, and they give you another free one to take with you when you go home. But they said like it's only a one-time use, but not a lot of people know that. And on top of it, as long as you're breathing through the nose and not spitting when you speak, you're not part of the problem. So be cautious, be safe, and don't be a dick about it.
I mean, I wear one when I have to, but like I don't know. I hate
Honestly,
it 'cause
I just want to
asthma and
catch
shit.
this fucking thing already.
I'm not as healthy as you are.
So I could broadcast the whole thing. And I'll be like, look, I chain smoke and nothing happened.
I'm still pretty much positive I actually did back in December when this mysterious illness with every single symptom matching showed up at my husband's workplace through his Chinese coworkers.
Hell, I had violent pneumonia in December into January, and there's no reason for me to have that. And I asked for a COVID test, and they said there isn't one.
Yeah, I remember when you were sick. Rob was sick.
Not
Michael
really
was
worried.
sick. Jeff was sick. Jesse was sick. Y'all were sick around the same time. Y'all quit kissing each other.
And I work in shipping, which I'm not going back to my job until all this bullshit's over, because I don't want nobody coming up to me with a thermometer or make me wear a mask or any of this other anti-American cuck shit that does nothing. I like that I have enough money to have principles. It's a beautiful friggin' thing in America.
It's just anti-liberty shit. It's just them seeing how far they can push people out of their rights by using this to scare them.
Indeed. Fully agree.
And that's as somebody immune compromised who's actually injured by a vaccine. I don't care. I don't want other people restricted on their rights to protect me. How's that?
I already had one person come up to me with a thermometer gun next to my head. Next person who does that is getting a broken wrist.
I don't know if I'd advise that, but yeah.
They're not going to catch me. You're going to be too worried about him and his broken wrist.
I'm not going to question you because you always manage to find a way out of trouble. I'm not going to.
I do.
I'm not getting into that.
I just said I thought he was going to hit me with something, so I broke his hand. It's real.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
It did, and that's why you got to do things like that to show people how things really work.
I'm not giving up my liberty. I have much worse, much more dangerous stuff I'm fighting with my medical every day. I am not going to give up my rights over something that's not likely to kill me.
I'm going to die of cancer, you bunch of bitches.
And that's on your turn.
Man, it is. I'm going to keep smoking cigarettes. I'm going to die of cancer one day.
So, all right, since everybody's shut in, what's the last thing y'all watched? What's the last movie or TV show y'all were into? Let's start with script.
The last movie I watched The Hunt for Red October the other day.
Nice choice.
Yeah, lots of Star Trek actors in there. Yeah. Good story with lots of suspense. Yeah, highly recommend it.
Oh, because we were talking about it so much, Empire Strike Back.
Cool. Jesse?
Rock and Roll High School yesterday on my channel.
Right. Nice.
Tomorrow I'm doing Rock and Roll High School Forever starring Corey.
I don't have Forever, but I have the first one.
I was just thinking about this. The last thing I did was rewatch Men in Tights. I don't know what that means about me.
I got the soundtrack. I don't know if
never go wrong with Mel Brooks.
I have a freaking Mel Brooks
musical number.
If I ever get stressed, I want to rewatch a Mel Brooks movie.
That was one I got lucky on in my soundtrack lots when I buy them. That CD is worth.
To be in there?
Yeah, that CD is worth more than the entire lot was that I paid for. Yeah.
We're Men in Tights. Yes.
Tights.
I just like
around the forest looking for fights.
Yeah, it's a great musical number. You could actually do that and throw a bunch of Phantom Menace heads on all those guys in there.
That'd be funny. Are you listening?
But that actually work because most of the time they're like facing the camera in chorus line. So.
Yep.
I hate when people do Photoshop and they put heads on. And it's like the person's turned around. Can't you just find like a pose and a head that match each other?
I've said this a few times. Last thing I watched was fucking Gemini Man.
Oh, the Will Smith vehicle.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I mean, some of the CGI is real wonky.
Well, it's weird when you try to age Will Smith down when he hasn't really aged physically in 40 years anyways.
Yeah, because you can tell whoever they got standing in is a stand-in, basically. Other than that, I mean, the movie, I liked the fact that it was just a basic, straightforward action film with no fucking agenda. You know, I didn't feel like I didn't feel bad for being a white man afterwards, you know. It's just didn't have a big subversion of my expectations.
Honestly, I stopped giving a shit about Will Smith the second he said that Trump supporters should be killed.
I don't remember him saying that, but I don't know. I thought the movie was all right.
He said before the last election.
There's actually quite a few things that
Him and everybody else said that besides that. But
there's a lot that's come out about Will Smith that he's not the nice boy he always played himself off as.
Yeah, Looper was much better than Gemini. Looper, well, I don't know about that. I'd go the other way. I didn't care for Looper as much. Looper.
I wasn't a big fan of Looper either.
Convoluted near the end, yeah.
Yeah, didn't know what it wanted to be.
Just whiten up the place.
Well, I just think the weird concept being is that they send the guy back in time to kill, and then you throw him in an incinerator. It's like, why don't you just do that in the future? Because it's the same result. Like, body's gone.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying that either, but I mean, I'm not calling Jesse a liar either. So
I can look it up if you want.
I say usually you're not full of shit. So
I was just gonna point out to the whiten up the place comment that the whitest looking person on panel is the one that's card carrying Sue in mixed race.
Congo.
Yep. I've noticed with all of my lighting, I come off a very much paler than I actually am.
Me too.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I actually
but-
am this pretty pale. I don't know why. I'm even paler than my white mother, and I'm Sioux, Cherokee, and Spanish on Dad's side.
wow.
Hey, everybody, I got so many dinosaurs coming, you won't know what the fuck to do.
Oh, I did find something cute. This
Oh,
says made up Will Smith quote resurfaces. But the thing is, I saw him say this. So this site is making propaganda to protect someone. So once again,
What
Will
they're
Smith
saying that
will
it was
fuck
a
himself.
deep fake Will Smith.
No, yeah, they're saying that it was fake. It was from one of these little red carpet interview things where you're standing in front of one of these fucking award screens. I have a good memory, even though I'm a pothead, so it doesn't matter. The internet could go screw itself.
Look, I don't know, it was my wife. She was talking about putting dinosaurs in Star Wars. I was like, fuck that. I'm going to make 10 more Jurassic Park movies, bitch.
Oh yeah, there's another Jurassic World coming out supposedly.
Mic drop.
They better name it something new so somebody knows what it is.
This one's going to be called, well, I suggested Jurassic Park Kick Ass, but they wouldn't let that happen. So it's like Jurassic Park 6, Jurassic World 3.
Well, since it's kind of a sequel to the original ones, like a secondary, like another generation, I would call it Jurassic Park and Sons.
Oh,
I think they should go with the number just to clear everything up at this point.
Is
I don't know how
Goldblum
many
is Goldblum
movies there are.
is Goldblum actually in this? Because I didn't look at the cast sheet.
Look, all that matters is there's going to be fucking dinosaurs coming out your goddamn nose. Okay? You're going to have so many goddamn dinosaurs, you won't know what to do. I'm going to be selling the motherfuckers as pets out the back of my truck. That's what. There are going to be so many of those bastards. I mean, you want a raptor? You want a raptor? I got a raptor here. $20. $20 to sell you a raptor. That's all you need. That's right.
Oh, they.
Got nothing at this moment to that.
I just don't have any desire to see any more Jurassic Park movies. Like
the last one sucked.
Now. They keep announcing all these things that are, I'm just like, okay, how about no more sequels, no more prequels, no more reboots, no more retakes, no more. Just do something new.
Okay, the last one sucked, but Trevorrow was only a producer. He didn't direct it. I think. Well, didn't he write it too? Script. He was one of the writers.
He was him and his partner who also wrote the Duel of the Fates script. They wrote that.
Yeah. Now I didn't like the movie, but I did like the new short that came out. Like, what was it? December.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. I do remember it dropping, but
it was actually really good. It's if you find it, it's not hard to find. It's just like a little 8 to 10 minute little thing. It's got a couple of families camping or whatever, and dinosaurs show up. It was pretty good actually.
My problem with the expanse of these Jurassic Park movies is that in multiple ones they've invented new dinosaurs, and it's just
I don't like that.
Just use the fucking T-Rex. It's scary enough. Just use it properly.
That's what I've always
show it eating children.
Well, and what I didn't like about Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 4, whatever the fuck you want to call it, was like you just said, Jesse, they made up that new dinosaur.
But hold on, was there 2 movies with Chris Pratt or just 1?
2 so far.
2.
There was 2. Okay.
Yep.
And the other thing I didn't like was, besides them making up the dinosaurs,
they made up the guy's buddy, Hammond's buddy. He was never in this story.
Well, there's that one too, but I didn't like the fact that they bait and switched us with the trailers. They made me think we were finally going to get the movie that I thought we were going to get all these years, which is basically Jaws 3 and Jurassic Park put together.
Mm-hmm.
And we got it for 10 minutes. Not
True.
even. And yeah, it was cool. We got of it, but no, I wanted to see a whole movie where everybody in the fucking park, it was a jam-packed park full of people, and people are just, you've got tons of people, and they can't get off the park, and they're all getting ate.
Yeah,
that's the movie I want.
Yeah, basically a roller coaster film. Yeah.
How you gonna go make? What kind of dumbass makes a pterodactyl on an island that's close to land?
Because to me, Jurassic World had the same sin that the Force Awakens did. It was too damn much like the first movie, down to like the scene with. There's just like straight rip-off scenes and everything. Like
there's a lot of inside baseball to it. They even bring in that one Asian doctor who had one scene in the first one back as like a pseudo villain.
Yeah, I didn't like they made him a bad guy, and I didn't like the kids. The kids shouldn't have been in it. They were pointless. They were a waste of time. They were only there to call back to the first movie, and they
missed the heart of that, which is it was basically about the doctor coming to terms with the fact that he starts to like kids because he has to be.
It was the doctor's story. It wasn't the kid's story.
Exactly.
The kids were writing tools.
And they did the same. And they gave. Well, I was going to say they gave Bryce Dallas the same fucking arc they gave Alan Grant.
Yeah,
like if you look at that movie, the more you pick it apart,
on a partner.
The more you pick it apart, everything is exactly the same. And that's where when I was like, when people are like, well, how is it that when The Force Awakens came out, I was like, why is it everybody's bitching about The Force Awakens being the exact same movie as Star Wars when nobody seemed to notice that Jurassic World was the same fucking movie as Jurassic Park?
Because honestly, not enough people saw it.
Oh, actually, everybody went to see Jurassic World, dude. That was a huge fucking movie, man.
It was, yeah. It made Colin Trevorrow
I might have gone to see it. I might have taken my son.
It made more, I think, than the last, 2 or 3 Jurassic Park movies did?
I know it made more than Jurassic Park 3.
I think it made more than the second one, too.
Yeah, probably did.
Because I think it's the second highest grossing one.
I mean, it was feeding off a lot of things it had for it. It had Chris Pratt, who was already kind of getting really popular at that point.
Yeah, right off of
Guardians. You had Bryce Dallas Howard, who was also doing pretty well. Then you got the Jurassic Park thing, and then you have the concept that it's an operating park, and people wanted to see it.
The
just
20th I think it was like the 20th anniversary or 15th anniversary of Jurassic Park.
Yeah. It
was the 20th, so it was 2014. 20th. I think.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt G sent us $2. Hollywood has always copied. Just look at the 1953 them. Oh yeah. Well, there's a difference though between. Like, look, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's characters like down to every character is the same character as what was in the original movie. They're just moved around a little bit to the point where they even have the pointless Nedry character in Vincent D'Onofrio, even though I love him as an actor. Mm-hmm. One thing I hate about the Jurassic Park movies, and the only time the bad guys ever made sense to the plot was the second movie. That was it. Otherwise, it's been pointless to have a bad guy because even Nedry's pointless. He loses the canister and it gets buried. And unless you count the video game, then it never pays off. And as far as him shutting off everything but the raptor cage, you could have just said the fucking storm shut everything down. You don't need Nedry.
Oh, yeah, like a lightning bolt hit the tower, overloaded everything. Yeah, you're done. Yeah,
he's just an extra, and the only other reason he plays any kind, and it's still, again, you can just say the same thing with the storm knocking out the power, is that Samuel Jackson has to go flip the switch to reset the computers. You could just say he has to do that to reset the power.
Yep.
Like I said, he could be that character can be completely wiped out of the script because he's fucking pointless.
Yeah, he's another plot device, but he died in a funny way, and
that's true. I like the character.
Like, oh, the power's out. It's computers, because back then computers were new.
No, and I get it. I mean, Spielberg used him as best he could in the script, and I will argue that Jurassic Park and Jaws are two great examples of where the movies are technically better than the books. Because Jurassic Park is a meandering fucking mess sometimes.
It is.
Honestly,
it gets too deep into some of the science and shit.
That I wish was in the movie that was in the book, and that's when the T-Rex followed him down the river while they were on a raft, and they said it looked like a giant fucking alligator.
And they kind of did that. That would have looked awesome. See, and I did like how they kind of picked parts out of the first book and threw them into the second.
I don't remember that.
They have the river part in the second film where they're going down the river, and I think was it the T-Rex or was it the Stegosaurus that was chasing them? I can't remember.
Look, honestly, what year was Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park 1 was 93 or 4, and then Jurassic Park 2 was 97.
So that's probably the last time I saw that movie.
I love the second film. Like, I mean, I watch horror movies and shit all the fucking time. One of the few times I ever remember being scared or jumped. Now, I wouldn't say scared, but like the tension and the jump scares actually got me, or I wouldn't even call them jump scares, was Jurassic World. And especially that scene where they're getting pushed off the cliff and what's-her-face falls and hits the window. Like that scene really bothers me because it's just like
Because
thinking about it now.
Could have went straight on through.
Well, yeah, and she wasn't going to, and even but then when the backpack, I mean, it was just perfect. It's pure Spielberg. He does it so well because it's like that he's not going to kill this character, but he still keeps putting her in jeopardy to the point where you're like, maybe he's gonna.
It really reminds me of that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie where he goes through the minivan or whatever for the kid.
That and my other and then my other favorite part in Lost World that I don't think gets enough
They probably
credit.
ripped that right off of Jurassic Park.
Oh, I'm sure they did. But the other part I like is when you got those mercenary guys running through the tall grass.
Oh yeah.
And then you see the 4 fucking trails of the raptors just coming in. It's such a Jaws scene.
You know what's sad? I remember the book of Jurassic Park 2 more than the movie. But they were pretty similar.
The book is trash. The movie is 10 times better than the book.
Yeah, it's not Crichton's best book.
Well, they drove a dump truck full of money up to his house.
They did, yeah. I mean, everybody really enjoyed Westworld. Like when he wrote that was awesome. Like he's literally the inventor of the concept of a computer virus. Like nobody was ever thinking about that before.
Sphere, that was an excellent fucking book because of the concept of
but the movie wasn't as good. Yeah.
The movie sucked. But being able to voluntary or involuntarily just manifest anything that you're really thinking about, that is so terrifying because if somebody doesn't know how to use that properly, they are downright dangerous, even to themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Sketch Therapy said, I said, oh yeah, I think Spielberg was actually calling back to the barrels in Jaws with that scene. I think it was a blatant callback because it just looks like the barrels, coming through the water or whatever. But it's just Anyway, you were saying.
But I think speaking to what you were very, very quite a while ago, having raptors just picking off guests left and right. I mean, think about it. They are the most effective hunters. They'll hunt in packs. That would be an amazing movie if they were to make that movie. I mean, where the guests, these thousands of guests, nature, that would be a real movie. We haven't seen it.
Could you imagine that first time when they went into like one of the populated areas, like around the gift shop or the commissary?
Well, that's the best part is you have it as like a gimmick.
Torn to shreds, and you see everybody else's face looking at them.
The first time you see one is you see them, like people are walking by and there's like a bunch of fake like raptors, like statues or whatever. And then you have a real one standing there, and the kid's like, this one doesn't look real at all. And then the fucker just bites his head off.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
And then everybody's thinking of that joke in Young Frankenstein where it's like 2 years dead, 6 months dead, freshly dead.
An abnormal brain, huh?
There you go. Yeah, you have the skeleton and then the muscle structure, and then there you go.
And the living one, yeah.
And then you cut from that shot just before you see the kid's head get bit because it has to be PG-13. You just cut to a shot outside of the shop, and everybody comes out running, screaming. And then,
and there's
3 raptors follow them.
On the window. There's blood all over the window on the outside. You're like, he's gonna be so.
A piece of the kid's T-shirt is with the blood that hits the window.
Oh, it would be so beautiful.
The only time that I really watch movies anymore is with my son because I want to show him things. But it's like I have a big hard time sitting down and watching fiction, and this has been a problem for almost a decade for me now. It's like I really have to sit down and watch it if I'm by myself. That's why I like doing watch parties, so I actually watch a movie. But the other day I was watching a documentary about Gene Wilder. And he was talking about how in the beginning of Willy Wonka, that whole thing where he like hobbles out like a cripple with the cane. He came up with that whole thing.
Oh, right? and the somersault and everything.
Yeah, and the somersault and everything.
Trust the character. Yeah,
that was not in there. So he made that all up, and he said he wouldn't do the movie unless they let him do that. And the director gave in. He was like, "Okay, I don't get it, but why?" He was like, "Because from the first time the audience meets me, I want them to not trust me."
Yep. So they don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So great. He was amazing. What an incredible actor.
I want to address this. Commander Blasto says Jurassic World kind of retconned the previous sequels. Kind of. I don't know if I'd say retcon so much as it just you could go in to see Jurassic World without having seen any of the other movies besides the first one. Basically, that's the way it was set up. I don't think it really retcons anything per se.
I don't know the mythos hard enough to go through that. I really don't.
Well, I mean, it does almost support the sequels in a way because the dinosaurs still had to exist and be around for them to have a park in Jurassic World. So you can almost extract that the dinosaurs that they picked up in the second film are probably the dinosaurs that they used to create the new ones.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they still have that same enzyme flaw where if they go off the island and they can't get the food, they then just die. So,
Well, and Trevorrow was teasing that. Well, actually, I should say Frank was teasing. Frank Marshall was teasing that this next film is not only the end of the Jurassic World kind of trilogy, but it's going to be the beginning of a new series where the dinosaurs are going to get to land. So it's kind of like supposed to set off a whole new kind of. So maybe we'll get eventually what I want.
and then it'll turn into Cadillac and dinosaurs.
Dino Riders.
I don't think enough people remember the classics, but you can watch this free on YouTube. Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Denver,
I remember that one.
the
Yeah.
last dinosaur.
He's my friend and a whole lot more.
I remember
Suggestive.
So are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
I started
Tom,
watching this the other day, and half the voices are from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I was going to say that,
Yeah.
actually. What were you saying, Culture?
I was going to say, Tom, are you sure that if Frank's not in a conspiracy with Kathleen, and that's how we're going to get dinosaurs in Star Wars?
You shut your fucking mouth. Don't ever say nothing like that again.
They're not dinosaurs. They're Gorn, okay?
I don't ever get close enough to my wife to conspire with her, let alone anything else.
You know what explains Kathleen Kennedy? I could tell you guys right now. This woman has so much
Hildebeest?
that what she does in her home life is probably pills washed down with wine. So that leads to all of this. And
You're
she don't
probably
remember.
not
thinks the
wrong.
And she don't,
Trandoshans
and
are
she don't remember
dinosaurs.
the next day, so she don't feel bad. You could talk about her for the next 10 years. She won't feel bad because she's not going to remember tomorrow. Hollywood.
Explain a lot. Yeah, Holly weird. Yeah. Yeah, the opioid crisis came to an abrupt halt for a little while because of this thing that we're dealing with right now. Couldn't get a hold of that stuff.
I couldn't even imagine what those people were going through. But then again,
Well, you saw it, man. They were breaking down those videos about, I can't live here. Yeah, no kidding. You're freaking whacked out of your mind most of the time. Anyway,
Well,
that's
hopefully
allegedly.
they got through it, if
Allegedly.
anything. If you're talking about the movie
Sorry.
stars, I don't feel bad for them. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about regular people, then I do. I feel bad that they have to deal with it, but I'm more worried about people getting helped where they don't die from.
No, absolutely no. I was only mocking the celebrities.
Oh,
that
celebrities,
decided
fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
fried fish.
I like people. I like people.
I like people too, but I think
I
that
know.
people these days, like 90% of humanity, really needs to just pull their head out of their ass and be themselves.
Oh, yeah.
not people, they're hippies.
Precisely. I concur, Cartman.
No, I don't wish any ill will onto anybody, of course. But
You know, it's all the damn like
But I
culture.
like saying fuck them too at the same time. I know it's a bias.
well, no, my problem is basically what everybody has a problem with right now is these people coming out and trying to tell us how we should live, what we should do, and complaining about living in a fucking prison in their home when their home is a big fucking palatial estate, and they've got a bigger yard than a
And they
city
got
park.
so much wine they
I
can't
know,
even
right?
remember their own lyrics.
Sorry, we're not in this fucking together. If your yard could qualify as 6 parks, and anybody who had that at least doesn't feel like they're fucking in a prison.
Hey,
Exactly.
can I tell you guys a cool story? We built a smart mansion before, right? This place had a heated driveway, so that when it snowed here in Connecticut, 2 feet, you flip the switch. Now you're done because it's all got wires running through it.
Mhm.
The dog patio. The dogs had their own room, but they also had their own patio area, and that was also heated, right? But it's just like these people, they're so apart from everyone else. They don't think like you do, and they're never going to understand like you do. And all the concepts that you sit there thinking about, they're never going to think of them, let alone think about them. It's a different world, and they're dumb. That's why you could take a rich person, right? A really rich person. I could go down to Walmart and buy 2 shirts, right, and rip the tags off, and I could be like, this shirt is from Walmart. This is trash. Then I could take the same shirt and be like, this is by designer, blah, 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 and just make up a name and make up a little story to go with it. And they'll be like, oh, that's worth $1,000. And they'll pay you. Because it's all
I
about
know.
booze, cocaine, and pills. That's how these people run their lives. They're bored.
Do we need a mic drop from? I know it's a little off topic, but here's a
Mickey
celebrity. Here's a celebrity I actually respect greatly. Here's a mic drop from Mr. Shatner.
Oh yeah.
Jay Stone writes, no one has $1 billion theme park with Star Trek. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Correction. No company spent $1 for Star Trek theme park that nobody goes to.
True.
Oh!
That was a very strong take. Not 100% accurate, but
no, it is accurate. Nobody's built a theme park with Star Trek.
They had a convention, and I went out there.
No, but I mean his illusion or his inference about Star Wars, and at least I believe that's where he was going. Was I wrong?
He was going for the look at my hand while I slap you in the back of the balls.
Kind of, because like this guy was obviously saying something about Star Trek wasn't as big as Star Wars. I'm imagining what the context of this is.
So he had to Captain Kirk his ass.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, it was to Shatner and Star Wars, that Jay Stone. But anyway,
he's just lucky that Shatner's just on the internet. Otherwise, he would go home and he'd find out that his wife slept with Shatner. You wouldn't even have known. Like he showed me all these cool horses and all these dances they do. Then all of a sudden, we were drinking wine and I don't know. I'm sorry, honey.
There we go, Rob. I got to tell him this I got to remind me to tell him this. We need to make videos, and I'm laying the Shat down, just him just dropping mics on people.
Dude, he does it every day. I don't know how he has.
I know, right? And then we'll just do him in the Shat voice.
The thing is that, like, when you deal with trolls over and over again, eventually you're just like, kind
of like the get a new boyfriend. That one,
Like, but he actually sits down and reads these things, and he likes to toy with people, kind of like a cat with a mouse.
Oh yeah.
So it's good that he does, because like I don't have the patience for these people. Somebody's got to.
I suppose I should read it like old Shatner, not young Shatner. Correction: no company has spent $1 billion for a Star Trek theme park that nobody goes to.
Check out my new blues album.
Is that a better older Shatner?
Yeah, a lot closer.
Priceline.
Somebody
voice on.
Who tweeted out the picture of Shat versus what's his name as far as age goes? Oh no,
Picard, you mean?
No, Anthony.
Anthony Rapp?
No.
Funny. He's got to be 80, and the things that I would say
he's
about
almost
him
90 actually.
Yeah, he's 89.
He's got 100% confidence. He looks like a virile man. He looks joyful, and he's warm, and he's quick. He's quick on his feet. The first thing he did was make fun of me.
Yeah, he's 89 now.
He don't look no 89. He looks like he's about 50.
I know.
For real.
And he's a class act too.
Hell yeah, he is. He's the man.
Anthony Hopkins. Thank you. That's the actor I was looking for. So yeah, there was a photo that went around. I don't know, somewhere in our community today that had a picture of him and Shatner. And how do these two? Yeah, because they look. I mean, the disparity in their appearances is quite shocking at how healthy and young an 89-year-old Shatner looks compared to Anthony Hopkins,
who is 10, 20 years younger, almost
10 years younger.
10 years younger.
I think.
He looks like he's got a foot in the grave. Shatner looks like he's going to be around another 60 years.
He claims his health is due to his equestrian lifestyle, like riding horses. He says that's how he keeps the exercise.
And I get laid a lot.
Well, I mean, he's going through a divorce right now, so I guess he has to get a new wife. But until then, yeah.
Do you remember the thing with him and Betty White with the Shatner roast on Comedy Central? You remember that?
I did see that. The funny thing about the whole roast, but
something about she was saying like, I remember once I slept with Bill Shatner, and his face was getting really red, and I said to him, "Bill, you better hurry up. We got to go on to the roast in 5 minutes." Or something like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I remember that.
Other than that, like most of the roast was making fun of Takai more than they were fucking Shatner. 16-bit mascot sent 420 says, "Thank goodness Shlomo is gone. Quick, here's money." I just paid Shlomo. That's probably why he took off. He's like, "Hey, I got money." He took off. Oh. I don't pay him.
If only there was something to do. He's got the same fucking
Oh, he's been
options I do.
complaining, but I mean, well, here there's a lot of the bars are open now, so I'm assuming it's getting to the point where a lot of places are.
These motherfuckers are saying June in Connecticut, like June 20th. I'm like, dude,
Oh,
no,
then yeah, he's out in the same area.
no.
My state never fully shut down. The state next to me is already mostly open back up. We're actually going to be able to meet up with Chris and do zoo time together for part of our anniversary weekend next week.
All I know is I'm about to start hanging out in front of the damn liquor store like Jay and Silent Bob looking for broads.
Sander Hammerslag says, Shatner looks like he could kick the ass of Gorn, and after that, Frack 5 or Orion Slave Girls. Looks like. That's all I'm going to say.
I'd be,
I do that for
in
breakfast.
good enough shape where I would actually put like money saying that he's going to be 100 because I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. I really don't.
Yeah.
He don't look like he's going to expire anytime.
He's too
soon.
stubborn. He's kind of like George Burns.
He's the king
Yeah.
of men.
He also
No one
has reasons
realizes
to get
that
up every
anymore.
morning. So
My favorite fucking Star Trek episode with him was when he was. You remember that episode where like they'd have a war between two planets, but it was all simulated. Then the whatever casualties had to get into the pods, like suicide booths.
yep.
And then Shatner's running around the whole place, just smashing and blowing that shit up, and just telling them how it's gonna be.
Well, that's because
Excellent.
his ship was threatened. There were casualties in the war. That's
Fucking awesome.
Shatner
I love
was
that
like a
show.
fucking
Dude, the original
biker.
series was so damn good.
Kirk is like a biker in space, yo.
Like except
He's a
for
cowboy.
Spock's brain, that was a great series.
You know, I'd pay for.
How many of those 60s drugs were they on when they did Spock's brain?
All of them.
I think a lawyer wrote that episode.
I thought it was Dean Koontz, and he sent it in as a troll.
Culture, what were you saying?
Spock's brain.
Oh no, I was just off the top of my head. I think it would be great to like redo Sons of Anarchy as a sci-fi show. Bikers in space would be fantastic.
Well, isn't Sons of Anarchy just at like a Shakespearean play redone?
Yeah, but I think. Well, I mean, yeah, it is.
He's giving you gold, script doctor here.
Yeah, I'm
He's got
trying
a
to help.
point.
All right, how hard would this be? Because
Think about
there's
that. A
this thing
biker gang
called-
in space, man.
There's this thing called the Russian Book of Aliens, and there's a whole bunch of other alien lore, right? With a set number of races that people kind of commonly accept might exist, right? Now, if somebody wrote like a really good sci-fi series, like a Star Trek, but involving all those different races and their characteristics that people say they have, like I'd be glued to that shit. But nobody does anything like that. They always got to make up their own aliens. It's like the Matri and the Draconians. If someone could use them as villains in a series, that would be fucking brutal. It'd be awesome. Because we'd be screwed. They're like you'd have to have like a superhero hero. You'd have to have like Captain Kirk on crack. Yep. Imagine something like that was the size of like a dinosaur man, but he had telepathy and could make you do things.
No, that's straight out of a comic book. Yeah,
Scary as hell.
definitely.
How's our script about vampires in Las Vegas coming along there, script doctor?
I don't know. Let's go do some research. Are you free in November?
Let's go.
Are you free in November?
I'll make myself free to go to Vegas.
That's possible. Yeah.
The trouble
Actually, I
is
can get a
afoot.
very cheap flight to
People are
Vegas, like under
strange.
$200.
When you're a stranger.
But
We got to have that as the theme song.
I don't know, but I do.
God, what a great song.
I want to get me a Russian bitch this time.
When you're strange. That or Viva Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
That should be the exit. That's a credit.
There you go.
Right, that credits now. See if I were, but no, I would. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone.
But yeah, we
Women
came
are
up with it one
wicked.
day. It was I don't
That's
remember
so
who was
great.
all on the show, but Script and Rob and I were talking about with whoever was here. And
Yeah, you could actually have a vampire that looked like Morrison singing it to open the.
but
meeting.
basically, the
We
whole
could,
thing
yeah.
is going to be vampires in you know how the mobsters used to run Vegas. The vampires took over instead. Now they're all fighting for power. in
Dude,
Vegas.
write this.
Yeah.
Write the script. Write the script. I
There's
can
only
star in
thing
it.
There's only one thing that really sucks ass about going to Las Vegas,
And we
that's
said a
that
werewolf
last
group
moment where
moves
you
in,
have to
yeah.
go home.
Yeah, I know, right? And then the big competition is when the werewolf group moves in. That's what we said.
now I do know
The
there's like an
lichens.
Egyptian theme in Vegas, if memory serves, so you could play with the mummies.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
Yeah, there's so much shit we didn't do last time. We gotta go back.
there's a lot of stuff you could do. Even the mummies, I guess, but
you got pirates too.
butt pirates.
I'm
It's the
definitely a
showgirls
Vegas
you gotta watch
pirate.
out for. They're vicious. Yeah.
They're all vampires.
Hey, can you take
Oh, no, wait,
ballistic? If you get ballistic clothing, can you take that on a plane?
In packed luggage, not in carry on. I think.
Like if I was wearing like a bulletproof clothing, they wouldn't let me on a plane.
I doubt it.
Why?
If you're not armed, I don't think there should be an issue.
It can't explode. It's bulletproof. It's extra protection.
Dude, you're gonna go through that scanner like 700 times.
I'll be like, look, I'll stand in front of the pilot. It will be cool.
They won't let you.
You're a door. I'll be the door.
Yeah.
I'll be the cockpit
Just
door.
leave me by the door. It'll be fine. I ain't gonna let nobody in. They got box cutters. What are they gonna do? This is bulletproof. Start stacking terrorists.
Let's hope that never happens again.
Oh my god,
never happens again.
I just think they should let people with guns on planes. Because for the love of God, decompression isn't like a movie, and just cap them. Pilots know what they're doing.
I have to say, in Iowa here, a few years ago, they passed a law giving a full constitutional carry-on in government buildings, including courthouse, everything else. They can't stop you from bringing your gun. Crime has fallen through the floor as gun ownership's been skyrocketing.
Oh yeah, because nobody, fuck around and find out, America.
I mean, come on, I could go a few blocks from my house here, and there's a freaking divorce lawyer and a tax attorney, and in between them is a gun shop. Nothing ever happens.
Is the gun shop just simply called Solutions?
That one is a little bit scary of placement because next door are both really good targets.
What kind of laws are there around opening a gun store? That might be a good business venture. People love guns, and people that once you buy one gun, it's like potato chips for tattoos. You can't have just one. You end up with like 80. Because everybody's got to have that apocalypse duffel bag. It's just like in Zombieland. Like he just found a random truck, and he was like, "God, I love rednecks," and he just pulls the bag of guns out the back.
Yeah, rednecks.
That's why I don't worry about the apocalypse, because there's going to be guns everywhere.
Trust me, it's those other red people too are going to be just as much with their guns. Trust me. Speaking from the woman who grew up with the Native family.
Last night we were speaking about Native American burial mounds. That was rather interesting.
Ooh.
We were talking about everything in America from the Hopewell era, which was 2,000 years ago, so the time of Christ, up until about 500 years AD, and then the Mississippian era, which was from then till when everything went to shit. But the big thing that was a problem for the Native Americans was corn. Maize was the fucking problem. Once they had corn, they were branching out, and their physiology changed, and they started getting more health problems, and they had a tremendous amount of tuberculosis for some reason.
Although that depends on the tribe. Some used it more, some didn't. Depends on if they're nomadic or not and other stuff. But
not using it is good because it made the bone. It made their very teeth weak. Like they showed a skull from 2,000 years ago. And all the tops of the teeth are all worn, like real worn. But the teeth were hard. But the ones from the era where they're eating all the corn and less proteins, their teeth were less worn, but they were soft as hell and full of cavities. So they had lots of tooth problems in life, as opposed to, just having their teeth rot when they die like you're supposed to. So it's pretty cool. So nomadic would probably be a lot better for your health, honestly.
Yeah, because the tribe I'm connected to was nomadic warrior tribe. They didn't do a lot of the long-term planting stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was more by hunt. And the medical issues that our tribe has had all come to when it came more settler time and they were being kept from hunting and traveling as much and stuff like that.
It was fucked up that I learned yesterday in doing research? Mm-hmm. They said that 2,000 years ago in the Ohio area, there was more people then living there than there are now living there. Isn't that insane? They said that these people had so much fucking abundance that all they had time for was leisure activities, and that's why they started building these mounds to honor the dead. And then some of them they would use for foundations and start building structures on top of them. Now, these being wood structures, they've since rotted away, but they're still big-ass foundations. Then they have like a fencing system that's like 18,000 feet long and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. It's really interesting. Sorry to go down a rabbit hole.
No, I find this stuff interesting. It might be boring everybody else, but I'm good with it.
There's just so much history with America before a white man came. You know what I mean?
This is why I want to build up my name. I want to start writing the comic and history books I want to write, because I want to base them on the Buffalo Women of the Sioux. I want to base them on the American equivalent to the Amazonians.
Gaming or what? TM sends $5. Why does Culture Casino look like Brian Brushwood from Scam School? I'm not sure what Scam School is.
I've never seen Scam School. No. Oh, I got one for you. I gotta see if you know this movie, because you know like every movie. Let me find the picture. I screen capped.
Dave M says with $5, Congo on HBO is going to suck by season 4. I didn't know there was a Congo unless you're talking about.
All right. If the group over here at Midnight's Edge doesn't know this movie, no one's seen this. All right, Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bowl-O-Rama. Once again, that is Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bowl, like bowl,
I've seen it.
Bowl-O-Rama. You've seen this?
Yeah, I seen it on Shudder last year. It was one of
Jesus Christ,
Billy Bob Briggs movies.
Really?
And yet
I saw a George Takei movie where he had cheerleader ninjas or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
So is the Slime Ball Bowl-O-Rama worth watching?
It's kind of boring. It's not as bad as you would expect. It's all right. I mean, as far as like what you're looking for, I mean, it might do. I mean, since it's good enough for Joe Bob Briggs, I would think.
Does it have enough tits to smear over all the crap?
Probably.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was really surprised. Like, I did a watch party, Sorority House Massacre 2, and like that movie's got Bush, and like they show that movie for free on YouTube. I was pretty surprised.
Well, it's not my particular favorite. It's not my particular favorite beer, but you know, in a pinch.
Oh yeah. Whenever you're in a tight spot.
I do not know how to use Discord. I hate Discord.
Dude, Discord's a bitch. I had to have a chick fix mine.
I set it back up, and then I'm supposed to be like trying to climb into people's streams, and I'm like, I don't even remember how to do any of this stuff. I don't know what happened. I used to be cool. I did lots of neat stuff. I played games. And
evidently I was mentioned somewhere, and I can't find it.
You're never going to. But the thing is, when you're doing your own fucking Discord, when you're doing administrator shit, like the role levels, whichever one you put on top, no matter if you designed it that way or not, is the top role. It's really it's pretty shitty app.
I don't understand.
Me neither.
All right.
So what was everybody wants to know what this movie is that apparently has your favorite beer in it or something?
It's like a B movie from
Sorority House Massacre Part 2. It's a wonderful film about these 5 chicks who get an old house that was part of a murder in the first movie, which I've never seen. But by 24 minutes, you see them all at least topless, and then people start dying. And there's a funny neighbor who eats raw stew meat out of a bowl, and he keeps saying, "I'm not going to ruin it for you." Oh, and most of the plot, when they finally get to the plot, because there's cops in the movie, most of the plot is actually told in a strip club. So like the girl they're getting information out of comes out and strips for like 4 minutes, and she like talks for 2 minutes. But they had the show, to make the movie make sense. It took her a while to get back there and get dressed. So then they had to have this blonde girl come out and strip too before she gave her 2 minutes of information about the plot of the movie. It's a good movie. I liked it. Nice legs. I don't know what it's about. There's a magic counter too, because there's this magic counter in the movie, like to the kitchen. And first the phone shows up, then like something else shows up, and like shit just keeps showing up on this counter.
So
We really-
sweat break. Lots of stuff just coming in for free.
Yeah, we really need some background music here to set the mood for this movie. Apparently, but Rob's not here.
Yeah, he's not
I
here.
got a guitar, but
No. That you can't. You can't play that kind of music on a guitar, my friend.
that's true.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I think we're gonna wrap this up.
All right.
I want to thank everybody who showed up here, Rosetta and Jesse and Culture Casino, and of course Script Doctor and Rob. Don't forget our regular shows every Monday and Wednesday at 6 Central here on Midnight's Edge After Dark. And I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, we get ourselves a minimum effort puppy, and Rob's not here, so we'll go out on this note here. Catch you next time, guys.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.